Good morning and welcome to the City of Lakeland Code Enforcement Hearing. Officer hearing. My name is Natalie Reyes and I am going to serve as your hearing officer today. Before we get started, I would ask everyone to silence their phones. I am an attorney with the law firm of Gray Robinson, so I would ask that you please bring it to my attention if your case is called and you are represented by Gray Robinson in any capacity. There are two ways that we can address your case today. The first method is called a summary disposition. Summary disposition is for those who are not disputing whether there is a violation and only need more time to comply. We will also address all of these cases first. For anyone who elects summary disposition and is given extra time to comply, the potential fine for noncompliance would be $30 per day for each day of noncompliance after the extra time versus the normal fine of $50 per day. The second day we can address your case is by hearing your case. This method is for those who are disputing whether there is a violation and would like to present testimony and evidence as to why they believe there isn't a violation. I would like to ask now to everyone please stand to be sworn by the clerk.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Okay, so for everyone electing summary disposition, if you can please form a line here. Is there anyone here for summary disposition? What is your name, sir? This one?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Case number LEC 22-00781301 Pasadena. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. Court N, page 20, or Circle North Circle. The owner is Russian American Development Company. Code Enforcement, Angela Kaser.
10 days.
And what date is 10 days? May 16th? Okay, sir, so you have until May 16th to bring the property into compliance. Okay, otherwise a $30 fine after that.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Perfect.
Let me get your contact information too.
Hi, are you summary disposition as well, sir? Do you remember what page you're on?
And do you know what page he's on? Either look at 7. Let's see. No, it's not 5417, is it? It's probably 10. 5421 North Orange? Yeah, top of page 10.
Case number LCE 22-00369, property address 5421 North Orange Avenue. I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly, but it's a revocable Mary, is it Wigan Lewis Trust.
What's your name?
My name's Shane. Lucky's the first on the top of my name.
How do you spell your last name?
He's my L-E-C-H. Not sure.
Are you waiting for a response from me?
Yes, how
I'm
many
sorry,
days?
90 days.
90 days. Sir, you will have until August 4th to bring the property into compliance. After that, there will be a fine of $30 per day if you do not bring the property into compliance.
And we'll go out with this summary about the summary, okay? Thank you. Have a great day.
Do we have Orion Cox? Page 8. Okay. Oh, okay.
Did he take a
I got to get sworn in.
Did Ryan Cox?
He did not take a summary. We're just closing the case. We're just going to close the case on it. He did not take summary.
So you're going to do an ASC?
Yeah, we're going to do an affidavit of compliance.
And he needs to be sworn in.
But he
Yeah,
needs to
I
be
need
sworn in.
Okay. Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, any other summary disposition? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Page 1, first case is LCE 21-04636, property address 4141 South Florida Avenue. Hearing officers Darren Crowell, owner Winderting Investments LLC.
Darren Kroll, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement Officer, case number LCE 21-04636. The address is 4141 South Florida Ave. Am I good? Okay. The owner is Wintering Investments LLC. Code Enforcement Officer is Darren Kroll. Violations Ordinance 4131, Section 1A1, exterior maintenance. Ordinance 4131, Section 1A2, exterior walls. Ordinance 4131, Section 1C2, windows clean. And Ordinance 4131, Section 1A6, garbage containers. The date of the violation was 9/1 of 2021. It was to be corrected by 10/1 of 2021. Reinspection was March 4th of 2022. The violations still existed. The city recommends compliance by June 5th of 2022 or a $50 a day fine after that.
I can see from the photos that the non-compliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a fine of $50 per day until the property is brought into compliance. Page 2, case number LCE 21-05764, property address 2314 Crystal Park North.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, filling in for the Adam. Case number LCE 21-05764 for the address of 2314 Crystal Park North. Owners are OLI Inc. The violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.16.1, interior floors, walls, and other listed in the agenda. The date of the violation was November the 1st of 2021. It was to be corrected by January the 1st of 2022. Reinspection on March the 7th of 2022, and pictures taken on May the 2nd of 2022 show that the violation does still exist. At this time, the city recommends them to come into compliance by June the 5th of 2022 or impose a fine of $50 per day and run until compliance is met.
I can see from the photos that the non-compliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 3, case number LCE 21-05840, property address 2850 New Tampa Highway, number 103.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 21-05840. That's 2850 New Tampa Highway, number 103. Owners are Shangri-La MHC LLC. Violations is 3947 for housing as listed in the agenda. Date of violation was on November 4th of 2021 to be corrected by January 3rd of 2022. Reinspection on March 7th, 2022, and pictures taken on April 29th of 2022 show that the violation still exists. It is the city's recommendation that the property be brought back into compliance by June 5th, 2022, or a $50 a day fine be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the non-compliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until, and I apologize, you said June 5th?
Yes, June 5th.
June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After the day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owners bring the property into compliance. Page 5, case number LCE 22-00003, 4408 Old Road 37.
Darren Kroll, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement Officer, case number LCE 22-00003. Address is 4408 Old Road 37. The owner is the estate of John Shagnott. Darren Kroll's Code Enforcement Officer. Ordinance violation ordinance is 5425, Section 4.4.3, fence height in residential districts. The date of the violation was January 3rd, 2022. It was to be corrected by February 3rd, 2022. Reinspection on March 7th, 2022. Photos were taken on 5/6 of 2022, and the violation still existed. The city recommends compliance by June 5th of 2022, or $50 a day fine after.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Next case, page 5, case number LCE 22-00051, 629 Adams Street.
Good morning. Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00051. The address is 629 Adams Street. The owner is the estate of Myronell Williams. Violations ordinance 5425, section 4.4.1, fence condition. Date of violations 1/11/22, to be corrected by 2/19/22. Reinspection was on 3/23/2022. The violation still existed. Photos were 4/29/2022. City recommends that compliance be met by 6/5/2022, or a $50 a day fine may be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 7, case number LCE 22-00194, property address 5417 North Orange Avenue.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-00194, address is 5417 North Orange Avenue. Owners are listed as Lori Leanne Pujol, Adam James Williams, Glora Ann Williams, Leon L. Williams II. Violations of Ordinance 5425, Section 4.11.4.5I for surface maintenance and drainage requirements. Date of the violations, January 24th, 2022, to be corrected by February 3rd, 2022. Reinspection on March 7th, 2022, and pictures taken on May 5th, 2022 show that violations remain. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by June 5th, 2022, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owners bring the property into compliance. There's a gentleman that came in. Do you know what page he's on? Because I don't want to call his case yet.
Page 20,
It's on page 20, but I think Alex.
and he's out talking.
Okay, so I'll
He's
just,
talking to Alex about the case.
good, thank you. Okay, page 10, case number LCE 22-00427, 412 Twin Lakes Circle.
They did a summary on that.
Oh, okay. So there was a summary disposition of that one. Until what date?
July 5th.
Page 11, case number LCE 22-00445, 1659 Fruitwood Drive.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-00445, address is 1659 Fruitwood Drive. Owners listed as FKH SFR C1 LP. The violations of Ordinance 5425, Section 4.4.1I for fence condition. Date of the violations, February 10th, 2022, to be corrected by March 12th, 2022. Reinspection, March 14th, 2022, and pictures taken May 5th, 2022 show that the violation remains. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by June 5th, 2022, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022, to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 12, case number LCE 22-00495, 613 Beach Avenue.
Code Enforcement Officer April Reeves for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-00495. Address is 613 Beach Avenue. The owner is Apollonia Dura. The violation is Section 90-1A Lakeland Code, objects within the public right-of-way. Date of violation was February 22nd, 2022, to be corrected by February 28th, 2022. Reinspection was on March 8th, 2022, and photos were taken on May 4th, 2022. Violations still exist. The city recommends the property to come into compliance by June 5th, 2022, or a fine of $50 a day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance.
Thank you.
Tammy, page 13, the last one that was summary disposition. Okay. Page 14, case number LCE 22-00554, 318 Tarawa Street, I believe. Tarawa, thanks.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-00554 for the address of 318 Tarawa Street. Owners are Larry Davis and Dorothy Lynn Hare. Violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage, and junk. Date of the violation was February the 17th of 2022, to be corrected by February 24th of 2022. Reinspection on March the 7th of 2022, and photos taken April 29th of 2022 show that the violation does still exist. The city recommends the property come into compliance by May 16th of 2022, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until May 16th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 14, case number LCE 22-00565, property address 5645 Yale Street.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-00565, address is 5645 Yale Street. Owners listed as Gibson Investors LLC. The violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4 for care of premises, open storage, and junk. Date of the violation was February 18th, 2022, to be corrected by February 25th, 2022. Reinspection March 17th, 2022, and pictures taken May 5th, 2022 show that violations remain. I did speak to the person cleaning up the property yesterday, and he did indicate that 30 days would be sufficient for him. So at this time, the city would recommend compliance by June 5th, 2022, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until June 5th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 16, case number LCE 22-00594, property address 2211 West Lanier Street.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-00594, that's 2211 West Lanier Street. Owner is listed as Eleanor Hornsby for the estate of Eleanor Hornsby. Violation is for 3947 for care of premises. Date of violation was on February 21st of 2022. Date to be corrected by February 28th, 2022. Reinspection on March 18th, 2022, and pictures taken on April 29th, 2022 show that the violation still exists. It is the city's recommendation that the violation be corrected on or before May 16th, 2022, or a $50 a day fine be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until May 16th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 16, case number LCE 22-00599, 1815 Sanchez Avenue.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-00599 for the address of 1815 Sanchez Avenue. Owners are THR Florida LP. Violation of Ordinance 5425, Section 5.17.3.6B, parking of commercial vehicles and trailers. The date of the violation was February 21st of 2022 to be corrected by March 3rd of 2022. Reinspection on March 4th showed that the violation did still exist beyond the deadline. However, they have come into compliance as of April the 5th of 2022. The city would like to finding of fact to establish a repeat violation.
What exactly is the violation?
Commercial vehicle, the
Okay.
box truck.
Got it. Okay. So the owner, THR Florida LP, has been established as a repeat violator.
Thank you.
Good morning. If you can please sign up with Ms. Tammy. Right here.
What address are you here for?
4141 South Florida Avenue. She's running away. She's doing like 10 cases already.
Darren. It's Darren's case.
Yeah, that case has already been heard. Who's the officer? Darren? Okay, you can have, speak with her and Angie.
We'll come back to it.
Page 17, case number LCE 22-00643, property address 3577 Raintree Lane.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-00643 for the address of 3577 Raintree Lane. Owners are FYR SFR Borrower LLC. Violations of Section 86-2 Lakeland Code for lot clearing and overgrowth. Date of the violation was February the 22nd of 2022 to be corrected by March 1st of 2022. Reinspection on March the 10th and photos taken on May the 2nd of 2022 verify that the violation does still exist. The city recommends they come into compliance by May the 16th of 2022 or impose a fine of $50 per day and run until compliance is met.
I can see from the photos that the noncompliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until May 16th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Tammy, on page 19 at the bottom, was
19 where?
the last one?
That's the summary.
Summary? Okay, so that's done. Until when did you give him?
He took a 60-day summary.
60 days. July 5th. Okay. Page 20, actually, that's the gentleman that was here. Is he ready, or is he still speaking to his
He left.
code enforcement officer? He left?
He left. But
Was there an
Alex
agreement?
will still present the case.
Okay.
One,
We're on the last one. Case number LCE, page 20, I'm sorry, case number LCE 22-00787, property address 1053 Anderson Avenue.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00787. The address is 1053 Anderson Avenue. The owners are Florence Williams. Violation of ordinance 3947, care of premises, open storage and junk. Date of violations 2/25/2022, to be corrected by 3/4/2022. Reinspection was done on 3/7/2022. Violations still exist. Photos were taken on 4/29/2022. City recommends compliance by 5/16/2022, or a $50 a day fine be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the non-compliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until May 16th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 22, case number LCE 22-00828, property address 1314 North Virginia Avenue.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00828. The address is 1314 North Virginia Avenue. The owners, the estate of Luella Adams. Violations 8 Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307, care of premises, open storage and junk. Date of violations 2/28/2022, to be corrected by 3/7/2022. A reinspection was done on 3/8/2022, where the violation still existed. Photos were taken on 4/29/2022. The city recommends compliance by 5/16/2022, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the non-compliance still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until May 16th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. Page 26, case number LCE 22-00952, 112 West 8th Street.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00952. The address is 112 West 8th Street. The owners are Randolph Gooseby. Violations ordinance 4134, section 1, derelict vehicle. Date of violation was 3/3/2022, to be corrected by 3/13/2022. A reinspection was done on 3/14/2022, where the violation still existed. The photos were on 4/29/2022. City would recommend compliance by 5/16/2022, or a $50 a day fine be imposed.
I can see from the photos that the non-compliant still exists. Therefore, the property owner shall have until May 16th, 2022 to bring the property into compliance. After that day, there will be a $50 fine per day until the owner brings the property into compliance. I believe those are all the cases except on the first page, correct? The lady that just came in.
okay, I'm gonna have to swear you in. Can you raise your right hand? Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Case number LCE 21-04636, 4141 South Florida Avenue. I had called that case earlier today, but someone showed up for that particular case, so I'll go ahead and
We would like to revisit the case, case number LCE 21-04636, 4141 South Florida Avenue. We'd like to revisit that case.
Sure.
After speaking with Michelle, the city would recommend 120 days to bring the property into compliance, and that would make it 9/3 of 2022. And after that, if it's not in compliance by 9/3 of 2022, the city would recommend a $50 a day fine until the property comes into compliance.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, if you can please state your name.
This is Michelle James. I'm the daughter of, I guess, management, so they told me to come here.
Your name is Michelle James?
Yes, Michelle James, yes.
And you are the daughter of?
Management, I guess, like owner/management.
Of the owner of the property?
Yes.
I don't see how she can bind the LLC or make a decision. What do you guys usually do for this? I mean, since you're not the owner, I just don't see how you'll be able to bind it.
She can present the case and be here on behalf, but she just can't sign a summary or anything like that.
I mean, I can take the city's recommendation and just let it be like that, but other than that, I don't.
I would recommend Sonny Marshall, Code Enforcement Manager for the City of Lakeland. I would recommend the standard recommendation of what we usually give for this type of violation, and the standard fine amount, unless, the owner shows up. We would typically just go with the standard recommendation.
Oh yeah, sorry to interrupt, but she's on her way. She was supposed to be here a bit earlier, so I came in to at least say something, but she's like 10 minutes away.
What is
But I
the
know that
standard
the meeting's
recommendation
gonna be over.
usually?
What page is it?
Page 1.
Okay. The standard recommendation is 30 days.
June 5th.
Is there a reason that you changed it?
I did. After speaking with Michelle, and I've spoken with her before, and Angie has spoken with her, because they're going to be power washing the building and getting contractors in there. We felt that a little bit longer was necessary, and so along with Angie's recommendation, we decided to go with the 120-day, to give them 120 days to bring the property into compliance, because they got to do the whole building.
Is there extensive damage to the building?
Pardon?
Is there extensive damage to the building?
Now, the damage has been repaired, but there's under the windows, many windows, there's rust. And that's why they're going to try the power washing, and then if that doesn't work, they're going to paint.
Right. I would still stand by the standard recommendation for that type of repair and work required to bring the property into compliance. And if it exceeds that, then the property owner can come before the Code Enforcement Board once the property is brought into compliance to discuss any fine that may or may not be imposed.
So right now, the only issue is power wash? Is that the only thing that needs to get done? 'Cause there's,
The power washing to remove the rust, and if that didn't work, you can see under the windows, that has been repaired.
Okay.
Those were cracks, and I physically got out and looked. There's one graffiti spot that is still not taken care of. That's the rust that we're talking about. And that's over, and there's rust on the stairs, any place with rust. I mean, there's multiple areas with rust.
So I would recommend that staff change their recommendation to comply by June 5th, 2022, or $50 per day be imposed.
are you changing your recommendation?
I'm just speaking for the owner. I didn't think that's enough time because they speak of multiple spots around the entire property that has rust stains. I didn't know where those rust stains are coming from, probably from old AC units. It's gonna take a lot more time than 30 days to arrange for everything to be done because it's just there's just multiple rust stains throughout the property from the ACs. It's surrounding the entire building. And there is, we also have to repair the pool screen, and I think there's other things addressed that were highlighted that they just gave me that needed to be addressed.
Is there anything in the building that will cause any danger to anyone walking around the building or?
No.
No? Okay. So I'm going to go with 60 days. You will have until July 5th to bring the property into compliance. If the property is not brought into compliance by July 5th, then a $50 per day will be imposed.
Okay.
Okay? July 5th,
Okay.
or $50 per day after that.
Already.
That's it. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Are there any other cases? Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.